Hello, lovies. I know that, there was like a pause there. I was just making sure everything else was situated. It's harder to do it with this angle in terms of the camera because I can't see the phone, so I have to do it on my computer. But I wanted to make sure that I pointed out that this is a collective message so that, you guys don't come up here and be like, oh, can I get a reading? And it's like, not today. I don't want to disappoint anybody. So there is a pinned comment. But nonetheless, welcome, guys. I hope that you guys are doing great. Happy Wednesday, right? Happy hump day. I hope that you guys have been having a great week so far and, rolling with the punches and clocking in and clocking out and just in a good headspace. Excuse me. um I feel like there's a lot to say just based off of that. Honestly, anytime I start getting like gassy, like I was not burping just a second ago, but now that I'm on here, I'm like, oh, okay, so that's what we're doing, huh? Very unladylike. But nonetheless, like I said, welcome. For those of you who are new to the channel, welcome. I hope you like what you see here and decide to stick around. I love to have new people coming in and see new names, new faces, new comments, and all that stuff popping through. It always makes me very, very happy to see that. So I hope that you like what you see here as well and decide to stick around. And yeah, hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, comment within the commenting section in the chat. If you come in during the live itself, and you can always leave a couple of comments and stuff here and there if you feel comfortable when this is already posted and all that good stuff as well. And for those of you who have already been rocking with your girl, like Blessings, of course, who, she just does her part when it comes to so much. Like, she is so great at what she does. Like, she's great at everything. Like, things that she does for her own career, and then things like helping people who she likes to follow or subscribe to on YouTube, and she's been an amazing moderator. So thank you so much for your hard work and your dedication. Greatly appreciate you. Blessings. So with all that said, we're gonna kind of start getting into the reading. As you guys saw in the title and everything, this is going to be kind of talking about, like, what have been like some things that have been happening in your love life that could be impacting, its progression and things like that. So this is like something that could be for people across the board. It could be people who are single. It could be people who are loosely involved. It could be people who are in relationships. So this possibly can meet you and have some type of importance, and I do hope that it has some type of importance. So with all that said, I've already cleansed the space and all that, so we are going to start with the What's Blocking You deck, and I'm going to do some shuffles, and then we're going to get started. All right. Spirit, only let positive energy into this reading for the collective. Show the collective what they need to see at this time for their highest good. Clearest and most accurate messages, please, and thank you. Yeah, so let's do some shuffles. I like to try to do it on the camera when I can, when I do it this way. Usually I do it like, face forward. But I'm trying something a little bit different, like I think people do like to see the cards actually coming out and stuff like that. And I used to do it like this all the time, and I was like, you know what? Let me go back to my roots a little bit. I used to do it like this for my pre-recorded messages, and then I started going live, and I was like, okay, I need to be on the camera. I have to stop being a little punky punk and like actually show my face. So there's plenty of readings where I actually am on camera if you want to check those out as well. Nappy fro and all. One more shuffle. Spirit, let's see. All right, what we got? 2 attached here at the bottom of the deck. So it does say here at the bottom, it says, give your partner some breathing room. Being too needy drives them away. So some of you might resonate with the idea of, possibly being a little bit too needy in your romantic relationships. Um, and if it's not you, it could be your partners. You might attract partners who are very, very codependent, is what I'm kind of getting. If it's not you, it could be them. It could be a combination of the two. Take it as it resonates and leave it if it doesn't, because it is a collective message. But let's see what Spirit has to say. I mean, for that to be on the bottom of the deck, I think we kind of set the tone a little bit. I'm getting codependency, possibly. All right, Spirit. What else does the collective need to know? Let's get like 4 from here. So I have other decks over here on the side that I would like to pull from. Thank you, Spirit. All right. Challenging position. What we got? Oh. And that's where that codependency comes in, right? We have unworthy here. And you see how like my my throat chakra is starting to kind of kick into? It's something that you guys don't necessarily like to hear in a way, because it's like as I'm trying to deliver this part of the message, all of a sudden like the throat chakra like closed up a lot. Yeah, it says you deserve an amazing relationship. Take steps to heal doubts about yourself. So, and this came out challenging. So that can explain where like that energy of like, feeling like you are not worthy. It could kind of come into play. But the thing is, it's like you have to understand your worth. Understand that you are a standalone individual. Like it's not about, how can I word this with it making sense and not being offensive at the same time. Like, see that throat chakra energy is a big part of this. It's like, I think that sometimes what happens with some of you who end up resonating with this message, like if a person like tells you something, you might get on the defensive, and that's not conducive to anything working out, or it could be the opposite for some, or a combination of the two, right? You have to be able to listen to your partner. You have to be able to deliver messages that your partner might not want to hear, and it's okay, right? It doesn't have anything to do with your overall worth, right? Like, you don't have to feel bad about yourself for being able to or wanting to deliver, a message about how you really feel. So just be cognizant of that, right? That could cause a blockage. Tell us more about what's going on. Another one coming out challenging. Untrue stories. You can tell yourself bad things. Change your stories and see the good that can happen. Changing the narrative is what I'm getting with that. Like, change the narrative. You know what I mean? Like, it's very easy for us to, when we're going through, our circumstances and stuff like that, if you've been hurt and things like that, it's like, oh yeah, well, I've been through this, I've been through that, blah, blah. Like, that's your story. But at the same time, there's always two sides to a story, and it's always good to like figure out how do you meet in the middle, right? And see that throat chakra again. Like, it's almost like, Spirit is like, they need to hear this, but at the same time, this is a hard message to like deliver. It's a hard pill to swallow is what I'm getting. It's like, okay, well, We all play a role in our circumstances. Now, I'm not doing like victim blaming or anything like that. Please don't take that as what, you know, please don't take it as that, because that's not what I'm trying to do or say. But, or however, I should say, however, it is important for us to be able, I'm going to say us because I feel like I resonate with this. You know, we go through things and sometimes we might repeat patterns, right? Where we keep doing the same shit over and over and over, expecting it to be different. That's insanity. I heard that earlier, actually, today. And I didn't know why I was hearing it. I kept hearing the word insanity, insanity, insanity. I'm like, God damn it, clear audience. You know what I mean? It's like, it gets really, like, interesting sometimes. And it's slightly annoying, I'm not gonna lie. When I hear phrases over and over and over, but the thing is, they always serve a purpose. And now I understand why I was hearing that. It's like, we have to take accountability, right? We can't start like creating narratives that are not fully true, right? We have to take look at the role that we play in our scenarios. It's not saying that, the people in our lives who have done things to us and things like that, like we shouldn't hold them accountable. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm getting here from this message is we also have to make sure, and that's why it's in a crossing position like this. What was our role? And what could we have done differently, right? So that we can grow and expand. I hope that makes sense. I hope that I'm not offending anybody, but that's what I'm picking up on so far. All right. Tell us more, Spirit. Let's get maybe 2 more from here, maybe 3 from this particular deck. What we got here? Another challenging position card here. A lot of you guys might feel unloved. It says, you deserve someone who can support you emotionally and love you fully. Challenging position. See, and with that on the worthy card, notice all these cards came out in that position. Every card, whether it was here or it fell on the floor or whatever, they all came out like this. You don't feel worthy. And part of it has to do with the circumstances that you've already been through. And then you feel unloved because of all of it. But this is the whole point. Like, there is a lot of love out there, right? Even when you don't feel like you're, within reach of it, it is out there. But the big thing is, how do we turn these cards in the upright, right? How do we turn all of this in a way where it is conducive to somebody who wants to welcome this in? Welcome in the positive stuff, right? Welcome in the feeling of worthiness. Welcome in the ability to feel loved. Welcome in the ability to be like, you know what, I am not the stories and circumstances that I had to live through. I'm worthy of way more than that. How do I attract that? And I think that's where this reading is going to kind of go. We're going to get one more from this deck here. Throat chakra. And a lot of it is going to have to do with how do you speak to those around you, and how do you speak to yourself when it comes to love. I'm getting communication, being a big factor for those of you who end up resonating with this. If you're resonating with this so far, let me know in the comments. Let me know by reacting. Let me know by hitting that like button. All those things are very beneficial. Excuse me. For those of you who are new to the channel, if you haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button as well. All right, so we have 2 cards that came out together. Anxiety is here. It says, you are afraid to get close to someone they are scared too. Give them a chance. So you see how there's this opposing energy, like they have their backs against each other, and it's because of anxiety, right? That fear that comes from all the stuff that you've already experienced. And they experienced a lot of shit too. So it's like it's going to make it that much more difficult for you to be able to move in the right direction if you stay in that kind of space. Okay? The more that you recognizing your worth, recognizing that you are lovable, recognizing that, despite all the shit that you've been through, you play a factor in that. Own up to what you did play a part in, and learn that lesson so that you can attract what it is that you're meant to attract. Yeah, because some of you gave too much, right? Giving too much. They came out together. Like maybe you're afraid that you're gonna overexert yourself again. Understandable, I get it. It says you are depleted because you have given too much. It does not actually say that, but I'm going to paraphrase just because of how I read. You need a balance of give and take. You need a balance of give and take, right? So what does that look like for you? And the thing is, it's like I get, like, for some of you guys, you're afraid to overextend in relationships because you've done that already. Like, why would I want to go back to that? I get it. I totally understand. So it's like, what do you do to make it different? All right, so with that said, we're gonna start looking into the tarot. I'm gonna do some shuffles, and then we're going to dive deeper. If this is resonating and this message seems like it makes sense to you, let me know in the comments. Even if I don't respond to your comments right away, I do happen to glance over from time to time just to see what you guys are saying, because it's hard, with this angle in particular, I can't see my phone. So I have my computer on the side of me, there's a lag, and it's just too far for me to be able to comfortably look at it at the same time. So, as I'm delivering these messages, I just hope that you guys are feeling, patient enough to be able to, receive the messages as they come out, and not be upset with me if I don't respond to messages, that you guys happen to put in the comments. Okay. So, bear with me. I'm getting, let's do a cross of truth for this reading. I think that would be beneficial. Let's see. So let's do a cross of truth. We're going to look at the overall energy when it comes to love for those who end up watching or resonating with this message. So the overall energy here, for those of you who end up resonating with this message, we do have the Three of Wands here. That is about foresight. That's about planning. It's about leaving things behind. You see how there's these staffs here? There's 3 staffs here. And they are choosing this one. If you know about tarot, you'll know that there's a Two of Wands, and the Two of Wands is about choices as well. But they literally turn their back against everything else that they're yeah, no, I'm good on that. So the Three of Wands is representing actually executing the plan, saying, okay, I made a choice, now it's time for me to remove myself from all of this shit and move forward. If you look at the imagery here, there's rocks and stuff there, there's the water. It's you don't necessarily know what's gonna happen, right? You're kind of scared. You're just oh shit. I don't know what's gonna come of all this. I'm hoping that it's gonna go somewhere positive, but you're just you're taking that sense of accountability and charge of your life to say, okay, I have to do what I have to do. I have to make a conscious choice and decision here to say, I'm leaving everything behind that does not serve me. Okay, there's a lot of emotions attached to it and everything, but you're you know what, I gotta do what I have to do for myself, right? Tell us more. What's the challenge? What's the challenge? The challenge, and the fact that we're asking what is the challenge, look at all those cards that came out crossing, right? It's kind of coming back to us, right? The challenge is you're maybe attempting to hold on to things that you can't hold on to, right? The universe, spirit, God, whatever you believe in, right? They're nudging you. They're constantly saying, hey, this shit that you're trying to make work, it's not gonna work. It just will not, right? But then you're, possibly trying to hold on a little bit longer, like, oh, well, this decision is really hard, and it's understandable, right? Because, once we have a sense of codependency and shit involved, like, it makes it that much more difficult, right? I heard trauma bonding. I was talking about trauma bonding at work earlier today with my coworkers. Like, the thing is, when those kind of things start to come in, it makes it that much more difficult for you to just let those fucking chips fall where they need to, right? But the universe, God, spirit, whatever you believe in, your ancestors, so on and so forth, they're gonna be like, listen, if your ass don't want to listen, we're gonna make it happen. Like, make it happen, Captain. Like, you can't keep on, holding on to shit. You just can't. For some of you, it's like friends. It could be a job. It's different things going on. Like, granted, this is like we're trying to talk more about love right now, but there could be other relationships or circumstances in your life right now that still contribute to that as well, is what I'm getting. And you might be having like a sense of a lack of strength to make it happen, or feeling like restricted by your own thoughts and things like that. And it's like, well, you can't stay in that energy, right? Gotta release yourself. I'm hearing like Fantasia. You don't want me, then don't talk to me. Go ahead and free yourself. Like, free yourself. Free yourself from the things that no longer serve you. Easier said than done. And again, for some of you, this is like not just romantically. This could be like a little bit deeper than that. So again, take the messages as they resonate, as they come out. But there is something going on there too. All right, tell us more. Tell us more. Thank you, Spirit. All right. So in the recent past, we have the Page of Swords. This is about inaction. The pages in general are usually about being very like driven by action. The Page of Swords is somebody who tends to usually like do research about something before they do it. In this particular case, with it being in the reverse, I'm getting like it's almost giving me like there's something that you need to do, but I'm getting maybe a fear of like seeing the truth about something, because the swords could represent like truth as well. And with it being in the reverse like that, it's like giving me like you don't want to see things for what it really is. And it's like, well, again, how we saw like that Tower card come out. Seeing the truth is what's necessary right now for you to be able to make the choices moving forward, right? So let's say if you're already in something right now, because this is about mostly romance right now. You're in a relationship or whatever, and you're, making excuses or something like that about your current circumstances in terms of love. You know what you need to do, but you're not allowing it to happen. Spirit is like, listen, we're going to make that shit happen regardless. So, like, are you going to keep on playing that game, or are you going to make the decision for yourself? Either way, it's going to happen. So, just pay attention to what Spirit has been telling you, where they've been guiding you, right? Because you deserve way more than what you're getting. Okay? Yeah. There's been a lack of equal give and take in your relationships. A lack of reciprocity is what I'm getting. And it's like, with that Six of Pentacles in the reverse like that, hell no. No more giving out more than what you are giving. See, there we go. Giving too much, right? You've been giving too much. We have confirmation now in the tarot. Like, you give out too much, you're not getting the same thing back. Not fair, right? Yeah, in partnerships. Thank you, Spirit, for more confirmation. And it's like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, why are we doing this? Yeah, it's time to move forward, right? Take life by the horns and say, fuck this. Knight of Wands. Knight of Wands is all about moving, right? Moving forward with a sense of passion. They may even be a little bit risky sometimes, but sometimes, you know, it's not always a bad thing. I think it just depends on the context. In this particular case, I think Spirit is saying, listen, you guys know what you need to do. You just haven't been doing it. And they want to push you a little bit and nudge you a little bit more. Excuse me, confirmation. So that you know, like, yes. If you've been like feeling like, I'm not so sure if I should do X, Y, and Z. I don't know if I should, you know, pursue a new relationship or just being single or whatever. Like, Spirit is like, listen. You weren't sure before. We got you now. We're gonna give you some confirmations, okay? So tell us more. And thank you, Blessings, for moderating. I appreciate you. I see we have Joey here, and we have some other folks here. I greatly appreciate you guys. All right, see? Challenging position. You saw how that just like they're like, when it comes to like future energy, they're basically saying that, like, try to keep everything within frame the best I can. They're saying that there's still a sense of like needing to heal. Okay. This go back to like that sense of feeling unworthy and things like that. Like, there's something that needs to happen here, right? What I am also getting is like, if you have been inclined to do a lot of trauma bonding, I said it a little while ago, like I was picking up on that, like, no. We're gonna start, you know, welcoming relationships that allow us to feel worthy, allow us to feel like, you know, we're not in this lonely space, or feel like, you know, the only reason why we connect is because we've been through something super similar. Like, no. Okay, what does my student say? Ricky, he says, sorry, but no. I'm like, this boy, where does he get his shit from? I don't know. But his little punchlines that he like gets obsessed with, they're fucking hilarious. But anyway, nonetheless, like, you know, there's definitely like still this healing energy, right? That still has to kind of take place, and that's perfectly fine. Like, you don't have to rush this process, you know? Take your time when it comes to the healing, especially as those of you who have felt like you've given too much, have anxiety about relationships, feel like, you know, you feel unloved, or you don't recognize sometimes like patterns in relationships, and then feel like, I think that all my relationships are one way and they could be a whole nother way sometimes. Like, make sure that you are cognizant enough of what it is that happens within your relationships, right? And allow yourself to, you know, warm up to yourself so you can feel worthy, and only welcome in people in your life who allow you to feel the same way. All right, I hope that makes sense. Tell us more. What's going on, maybe like at the foundational level or behind the scenes that the collective doesn't know at this time? Where is this stemming from? I would not be shocked if like the Six of Cups were to show up. It gives me that kind of vibe, or like the Hermit or something like that. Let's see what came out. We got, let's see, we got 3. Oh, Spirit, you guys are fucking funny. Did I not say I felt the Hermit coming out? And it's in the reverse. It's in the reverse for a reason. We have the 5 of Pentacles in the reverse as well. The 9 of Pentacles. So this is giving me, remember I was talking about codependency earlier? It's one of those things that we never actually want to hear the truth about, but I'm going to deliver that truth regardless. For some of you who end up resonating with this, and wanting to hear the message, you might resonate with the fact that you've been avoiding shadow work. And that part of that shadow work is these cards that are coming out in that challenging position, right? You know, this is a time to work on feeling a little bit more independent with this Nine of Pentacles here, right? Getting out of that place of lack with this Five of Pentacles in the reverse, getting out of that energy. But the thing is, you have to allow for that Hermit to happen first. You can't, you know, same thing with this card here, right? This is like the future energy. This Four of Swords here, where it's like, you know, you need to allow this to happen. You know, healing, right? Part of the healing is going to be that Hermit. Part of the Hermit is going to be, you know, getting past, you know, the sense of like codependency, right? Like this is going to be about learning about interdependency or interdependence, like where you rely on each other, right? It's a mutual thing. It's not, you know, one relying on the other more than the other, one relying on someone more than the other. Hope that makes sense. Like, I know my wording was a little bit weird there. Yeah, because this causes anxiety. It causes a blockage. Look at that, right? For those of you who can, let me try to bring that down a little bit. But if you can see that, you know, the couple that's on the card, like they're you know, back to back, you know, and it's like, well, that causes a sense of friction within the relationship. You can't really be with somebody if that's how you are, right? Like you're always going to be on the fence about them, constantly letting that go, right? Getting past that. All right, Spirit, tell us more. And we have, as a possible likely outcome, we do have the Ten of Pentacles here. That's a good energy. I do want to see the energy surrounding this card first before I, you know, give you guys my synopsis of what I'm picking up on. Yeah, thank you, Spirit. Like letting go of like the past, like disappointments and heartbreak and all that. Like fuck that shit. It's all done. What's done is done. You can't do anything to change the past, right? Five of Cups is talking about, if we're in the upright, it's talking about letting go of, you know, hurt, pain, resentment, right? Feeling like you're crying over spilt milk. Like you're not doing that anymore. It's all fucking done. Because you want to welcome this in now. This Ten of Pentacles, right? Something more positive, right? Three of Pentacles here with partnerships. So it's giving me like, ooh, my ears started ringing like crazy when I was about to say this. So it's giving me like, especially because we're talking about love right now, there's this potential for, you know, big time growth with this person, exponential growth. You know what I mean? Like that new person that could come into the picture, success and victory. They're going to recognize you and you're going to recognize them with the Six of Wands here in the middle of the deck. Like it's not going to feel one-sided anymore. And that's a beautiful thing. And it's because you're working on this sense of healing, right? But you have to keep on making those steps forward so that you're not stuck in that blocked energy. All right, let's get one more from here. And then we're gonna, yeah. We have the Magician here in the reverse. That's about delays when it comes to your manifestations. I'm also getting like smoke and mirrors. So I have more than one message here. I'm going to deliver both messages. One message I'm getting is delays. The delays come from the fact that there are these things that you still need to do. Why? Because you've been avoiding certain things when it comes to change and things like that. Understood. You know, you got to do that shadow work. You can't stay, you know, in the stuck ass energy. You just can't. Right? If this is what you want, you have to make those moves in your life. And that's all on you. You know, you have free will here. right? And that's why I talk about accountability a lot on my channel. Like a lot of people, a lot of other readers are gonna, like I said, simply be like, oh yeah, well, you know, all these people did you wrong. Like, okay, yeah, that could be true, but like if you keep on attracting the same type of people, for instance, what are you doing differently each time? Are you doing anything differently? Ask yourself that question. Like, we can't sit here and keep on blaming everybody else. I'm gonna say we because I've been that person before. Like, nah. Eventually, now, we're blocking our own blessings. Just saying. Um, One thing about me, I'm gonna be very straightforward with those type of things because, my channel is all about healing, but it's also about honesty. So take it or leave it. Okay. If that's your jam, okay, you're in the right place. If not, it is what it is. You could go to the readers who are going to blow smoke up your ass and tell you something else. Neither here nor there, okay? But the other message I got from this magician in the reverse is being able to see through the smoke and mirrors. So there are going to be people in your life who are going to be very, very like secretive or manipulative and stuff like that. You have to use your discernment to be able to go through all of the things. That's why Untrue Stories is here. Like, what have you been through in your life where you can look back and be like, ooh, damn, how the fuck did I let that happen? How did I let that slide? You know what I mean? Like, you have to be able to be honest with yourself and not keep repeating the same shit over and over again. So, if you know that you get like tricksters in your life who like, playing games and shit, like, why keep on entertaining those people? Use your discernment. See past the smoke and mirrors, okay? Yes. I heard the word contention. Those are the ones that will simply cause you nothing but fucking chaos in your life. 5 of fucking pentacles. I mean, sorry, 5 of well, we did see the 5 of pentacles show up too, didn't we? 5 of wands. Like, nah. You can't keep on staying in that stuck ass energy. Yep, let it go. 4 of pentacles here on the top of the deck. Let that shit go. You can't stay there. You can't do it. Right? Because then you're going to stay in your own fucking karmic ass fucking debt. Justice in the reverse. All those karmic lessons and shit that you're not allowing yourself to learn. You can't be there. You cannot stay there. Okay? Alright, so I am going to pull from... Right, I have technically 3 decks here. Let me see. I'm only going to pull from 2 of them because I don't feel drawn to one of them. So I'm going to pull from this one. This one's a little bit newer, and I did feature it last night. The Truth deck. So let's see what's going on there for the collective. All right, shuffle a few times. Maybe a couple more shuffles. One more. All right. Intuition. Did I not just say something about following your intuition, right? Your discernment. Come on now, Spirit. Sorry, can't even get the words out. 6th sense, intuition, and subconscious. Like, what it is that you're being called to do, and it's like, or have been called to do, if it's like more of a past energy for some. And it's like, dude, come on now, you know what you need to do. You cannot stay stuck in that old ass energy. You just can't. You're gonna take this shadow. Yep, I talked about shadow work, right? You might be avoiding that shadow. The other side, coexist and reverse side. That shadow energy is going to keep on persisting and showing up if you do not allow yourself to be like, fuck that. Okay? And I have to remove myself from that. It's good, like maybe 3 more from here. Excuse me. Thank you. Got 2 together. We have trash, waste, worthless, and mouse. So, I heard the word discard. Like there's just certain things that have to just be let go of, right? We picked up on that already. It's like you gotta release that energy. You can't hold on to it anymore. Whether it's, you know, in the sense of the types of partners that you, let's look at the card, right? I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see because of like the lighting and stuff, but like, you know, if you look and at the imagery, like you got a bed that's all disheveled, just giving me like sex energy. You got bottles and shit on the floor and on the bed. Like there's just a lot going on, right? And there's just this energy of, especially coming right after the shadow card, it's like there are certain things that, you know, you're being called to work on about yourself as well. Again, we're not going to sit here and keep on putting everything on the other person. That's not fair, right? We have to also understand the role that we play in our own circumstances. Throat chakra energy is like my throat chakra is like, we're gonna try to suppress that. No, and I'm saying it to myself too. I'm telling you, like, you know, what are you allowing to keep happening, right? It's time to release that because it's holding you back from what you deserve, you know, especially when you are trying to put in the work. Like for those of you who have been doing like a lot of work on yourself and you kind of sometimes like, you know, backslide a little bit, like you still are more than worthy of what it is that you deserve. So get out of that sense of feeling unworthy, right? Yeah. We have silence here. It came out together. Keep silent, coercion, and hint. Yeah. Don't let anybody try to, you know, take you into a dark space that you have already removed yourself from, is what I'm kind of getting. But like, oof. Well, the other cards fell underneath my little whatchamacallit over here. Let's see if I can get all of them. Yeah, I got all of them. But the only one that actually showed up here on the table is street. So I just heard for the streets. It says circulation, sports, and exhibit. Somebody was for the streets. You are not that person. That person was that person, and that has nothing to do with you. We have Chew here on the bottom of the deck, and look, it's a street there with street lights and everything. Deep thinking, remember, solve puzzles, and code word. Like motherfucker was for the streets, and you know, you dealt with that person, you know, and now it's like, okay, well, it's now time for you to do what you gotta do for yourself, right? Move in silence, do your work, right? And understand that you are worthy of what it is that you're attracting. Allow it to happen. Allow it to happen. Message, oh Lord. A past person might try to come in talking about some, because I'm picking up a past energy now, and that might be why, you know, I got drawn to pulling from the truth deck. It says message, communication records, call records, instant messaging, along with drinks, liquor, coffee, tea, and water. So somebody might try to, you know, hit you up talking about, oh, let's go out for a drink or two or something, and try to like butter you up a little bit. Don't allow that to happen if you know this is a person that you don't want in your space or your energy, right? Just be mindful. Yeah, encounter on the bottom of the deck. Meet by chance, love at first sight, crush. But I'm picking up on past person. Forgotten. You can't make this up. This was on the top of the deck, guys. Forgotten person. Core, past, old friend. Now, what's on the bottom of the deck? Encounter. Right? Meet by chance. Like, I'm even getting, like, be mindful. Okay, I just heard this. Be mindful of, like, how you, like, post and stuff online. So, like, if you're one of those people who I used to be, where you post like where you're at all the time, like, oh, I'm here, I'm there, like, and you have it publicly like out there, be mindful of that because they might try to pop up where you're at. Like, just be mindful of that. Or if you have like, you know, friends in the same social group or something, be mindful of like who knows what, because they might go telling shit to the next person type thing. Yeah, affairs, mistress, third party. This person could have even had you in a third party situation. Fuck that. No, thank you. Like we're trying to move past that type of shit. I want to read from only one more deck, but now I feel drawn to possibly read from it. No, I changed my mind. I just don't feel drawn enough to it. So I'm gonna read from one last deck, and then that will be the end of the reading. Some of the cards are not facing the right way, but it's fine. It happens sometimes. Like if I put them back in the wrong way, I'm like, fuck. But I'm not about to go through, you know, however many cards are in this deck. I think it's like 70 or something. But I do see boundaries is here. Setting some boundaries. Alright, so let's get maybe 3 cards to close out, and then that will be the end. Alright, bottom of the deck. The Void. Addiction. We talked about that a little bit before. You may be covering up the emptiness or pain through an addiction. So, especially with that drinks card, like, be mindful of that. I was talking about codependency earlier. So, like, it might not be like addiction in the sense of what we typically think of addiction being, which is like, you know, substance abuse. Sometimes addiction comes in different forms. It could come in the form of overthinking. It could come in the form of overworking. It could come in the form of working out too much, being too overly concerned about, you know, quote unquote health conscious like stuff. If it becomes like, you know, you're, how can I put it? If you become irrational about it, that's when it starts to become a problem. Like, let's say you miss a day in the gym and you're like, oh my god, my life is over. Like, that could kind of be a problem. Like, it does happen. Like, look it up. I promise you, this is not like something I'm just making up. It does happen. So addictions can happen in so many different forms. Even things that we think are like good things or positive, it can become a thing. So just be mindful, you know, of how you expend your energy. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Because, you know, people automatically assume like, oh, if someone goes to the gym all the time, then, you know, everything must be fine. Not necessarily. There have been people who've died from overtraining, you know, or, you know, cutting out too many food groups and things like that. You know, if you get overly concerned about your eating habits and you're not consuming, you know, enough calories or enough certain types of nutrients and things like that. Oh, I'm gonna cut this out so that, you know, I lose weight and, you know, or maintain my weight. Like, that's still not necessarily the healthiest thing, depending on how you go about it. Just saying. All right. I said something about this earlier, right? Possibly needing to rest. We have restlessness here. It says, find a way to calm the waters of your mind. Exactly. Didn't I just say something about overthinking for somebody, possibly? So, yeah. You know, a little bit of confirmation there. Let's get 2 more from here, Spirit. 6:46 on the actual clock here in the eastern region in the States. Reconciliation in the reverse. So remember I was saying there could be a person from the past trying to come back? Yeah, no thank you. It says this person, friendship, or partnership can be saved. It came out like this for a reason. And also the number on there is 32 adds up to 5. Remember we saw that 5 of Pentacles when we were talking about the root of a lot of this stuff? You're getting out of that. Fuck that shit. Like, why would you go back to somebody who made you feel like crap about yourself? No thank you. All right. Let's get one more. Oops. Not all these. Damn, Spirit, what the fuck? No. I do see soulmate in the soulmate here in the reverse though. But yeah, we're gonna get one that actually comes out of the deck, not just a bunch of cards spilling out. So let's see. One last card. What we got? Healing with nature in the reverse. So you know, as well as just kind of making a hint at, like, some of you guys might want to, like, you know, think about your eating habits in a positive way and do something positive with it. There could be, I'm picking up on that. It does say healing with nature. This came out in the reverse. It says your soul yearns to be outside in nature around the healing waters, flowers, and trees. Now I know it doesn't say anything about food here, but I'm just reading, excuse me. I said energetically, that's not the word I wanted to use. I was trying to say intuitively. I am getting that, I'm getting like plant-based diets and things like that could be very, very beneficial, but just make sure that you're also making sure you get all of your other nutrients as well. Somebody might be resonating with that. That seems very specific. That's not gonna be for everybody, but yeah. I'm also getting like, if it doesn't have to do with like diet and stuff like that, it could just be saying like, there are things that when it comes to, especially because we were talking about a love reading here, like things that you could be doing to, like, you know, welcome love in. So I did just pick up on like rose quartz. Rose quartz is a really good one for attracting love. So you might want to look into, you know, the properties of different healing crystals and things like that. That could be helpful. If you just know that there's things that you need to do within yourself in terms of your healing process. You know, the weather is starting to break, which is nice. Spending more time outdoors and meditating and stuff like that in order to kind of, you know, balance yourself out and welcome certain things in that you are trying to bring back into your life. We have auric field here. It says it is time to call in energy protection. Sorry. It is time to call in energy protection to shield, clear, and strengthen your aura. So, you know, your aura right now, you know, and protecting it is important. You also have old habits here. An old habit may be keeping you from moving forward. And we talked about that, right? Clearing those kind of things out. Let's get one more. I do feel inclined to pull one more card. And then that will be the end of the reading, I think. If you're new to the channel and haven't done so already, hit that like button and subscribe. If you've been rocking with your girl for a bit and you're, you know, hanging out and watching and listening, I hope that this has been helpful. I mean, across the board, I hope it's been helpful, but yeah. Self-love. It's in the reverse. I just pulled it, like, I flipped it like that. I don't know if you guys were able to catch that on the camera, but like, self-love is a big thing right now. Right? Because we had unworthy there too. You are learning that your capacity to love others is directly related to your ability to love yourself. Self-love is going to be one of the biggest focal points when it comes to attracting love into your life. Seeker of truth. I'm not even gonna read that. It's kind of like almost commonsensical at this point. Like, I think you guys know what it is that you are meant to do and need to do at this time. And boundaries is here again. So the number 10 is also being represented a lot throughout this reading. 5 and 10 are both really significant. Let's see if there's any other ones that I'm noticing. Yeah, 5 definitely a big one. Big time. Got 5 energy like 3 times, I think. Yeah. For some of you, it could be stemming from like the inner child. Understood. I get it. But you can't keep on repeating those old patterns. And I did pick up on like something about like karma too, right? I picked up on that earlier. Like, this is a time to, you know, let things be. You know, you can't do everything for everybody else. This is a time for you to do things for you and focus on you. What it is that you desire when it comes to love and focusing on that. But that self-love is going to be very, very pivotal at this time. That's where I heard pivotal. So be just cautious of that, right? Because that self-love also is going to come with some boundaries that you're going to have to set when it comes to different energies in your life. And this is going to be across the board. This is not just romantically, but this is in general, right? You give too much to others. If you're constantly giving, how are you ever going to receive anything back and actually retain that, right? I'm also getting, you know, one of the energies that showed up a lot throughout the reading is like a sense of letting go of the sense of codependency, you know, trauma bonding. No more of that. You are more than worthy of what it is that you deserve. And it is okay to welcome that in, right? Change the narrative, change the story. Move in silence as you do so, because you're not for everybody. Okay, so with all that said, I do hope that those of you who ended up sticking around, I hope that you guys resonated. I hope that you got something from this reading. This was fun to deliver. There was a lot going on. Didn't know where it was gonna go, but I do feel like it was, you know, some great messages that showed up throughout. So with all that said, I love you guys, and I do hope that you guys stick around for other future readings and all that good stuff, so that, you know, we could be aligned with each other and keep on working on ourselves and healing and growing. So yeah, with all that said, you guys have a great rest of your evening, and until next time, mwah, bye.